Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moments with Me, the show where I talk about my personal experiences and my life stories. All right, everyone, welcome back to another great episode. In today's episode, I kind of wanted to talk about something that is kind of advice for any filmmakers out there, and also kind of advice for myself because I need to take this advice myself. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, because I am excited to say that the screening at the Geronimo Film Festival for my next short film, Scratch, is tonight. At the time that this releases, it'll be tonight. So, if you haven't already, if it isn't sold out yet, make sure to get your tickets to go see my next short film, Scratch, which is tonight. And I hope to see you guys there. And with that being said, let's get straight into it. So, something that I want to kind of give advice to other filmmakers, but also to myself because I need to do better about this is consuming. Hence the title of this episode, Consume to Create. And why is this important? Is because I kind of realized for a minute I wasn't really feeling inspired with acting or filmmaking or anything like that. And really, the main reason for it was because I wasn't consuming enough. I'm so focused on output and making more movies that I kind of lost why I was inspired to do it in the first place. And I kind of realize now that I need to kind of do homework myself and I need to start watching more movies and watching more shows and watching different things, and I need to do better about it. I need to do better about it and it's very important. And also a buddy of mine kind of has the opposite problem that I had noticed because he was talking about basically how he watches a lot of movies, but he doesn't really create movies. And for me, it's the opposite problem. I'm great with creating, but I don't do enough consuming. So I need to make the time to start consuming because I would say it's like almost equally as important to watch movies as it is to make them. And I'm kind of realizing that now, and like it's hard. Like, how can you get creative? How can you come up with your own ideas if you don't really have, I guess, the inspiration to do so? So it's kind of they kind of go hand in hand, and I didn't really realize it because I remember when I did the movie Shakedown with Paolo and Rahul. I remember that what inspired that movie was The Irishman. Was watching that, and it was a great movie, and that's what inspired me to do. That's what inspired us to do Shakedown. So I kind of realized that I need to watch more movies to feel more motivated. I mean, even unfortunately, it's kind of on hold for right now. But with my movie, I was gonna do Hostage. That one was inspired by Tenet from Christopher Nolan. I really wanted to do an action film after watching that movie, and it's crazy that, like, kind of going back and thinking about what inspires me to make movies. And another thing I kind of want to touch on because some people have pointed this out. I know that there's people that say basically that the less films you watch, the more of your identity that you have, which I definitely agree with. And I do like that I don't, I guess, overconsume movies because I kind of feel like with some of my films, I kind of have my own vision with it, and I love that I have my own vision with it, and that I can, get creative with it, see it my own way, and not really kind of think about how others would do it, and kind of just focus on how I'm gonna do it. And while I think that's a good piece of advice for sure, and I do agree with it. I think that you shouldn't overconsume, and I will say that very much so because I think the problem with over consuming is that you almost start to kind of become a perfectionist. You almost start to kind of be like, well, this filmmaker would do it this way, or this filmmaker would do it this way. And then you're starting to kind of compare yourself to others, and it's never really a good thing to do. Both really with acting and filmmaking. It's never really good to compare yourself to others because in my opinion, I think with acting, I think the reason why I turned away from it for a moment was because it felt more competitive. Whereas, in my opinion, it shouldn't be competitive. It should be a matter of you bringing yourself out through the character that you're playing, if that makes sense. And I think with filmmaking, it's kind of a similar deal. It's bringing your vision to life through this movie, even adding some of your personal elements to said movies. Because even with movies like Evade and Internal, movies that I made kind of after going through a hard time, and I put a lot of myself into those movies, which I highly encourage other artists to do. I really encourage them to bring themselves out, bring their visions to life with this movie, or gosh, and bring their visions to life with their projects. Whether it's kind of subtle or it's, I don't want to say obvious, but, very inspired. So, why is consumption important? I think it's really important because sometimes it can give you ideas for other projects. And I also think, too, that consuming also gives you that inspiration that you need, especially as a creator. Really being able to consume, like, even if you, let's just say you paint or, draw or whatever it may be, it's also good to kind of look at other artwork, not necessarily to copy their style or whatever, but just to feel inspired, to want to keep going, kind of remind yourself of why you love what you're doing. And I think that's very important. And I think that's why consuming, with my case, consuming movies and, performances even, is very important for me because it motivates me and inspires me. And it's something that I need to do more of. I know I'm talking like I'm doing it, but trust me, guys, I have work to do. I have so many shows and movies that I need to catch up on. It's not even funny. So trust me when I say, when I'm giving you guys this advice, it's advice for myself. Like, this episode is literally for me, that you guys just so happen to listen to, you know? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because with all that being said, that's all the time that I got for this episode. So if you liked it, please make sure you like and subscribe, and comment whether or not you're going to the Geronimo Film Festival, because I'm really hoping to see you there. And if you're not, then make sure to get your tickets. Make sure to get your tickets. Well, if you're able to go, I should say. If you're able to go, make sure to get your tickets. Link in the description. And as always, guys, I will see you guys next time. Or if you're going to the film festival, I'll see you there.